Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com. And welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with somebody previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Kelly Lynch. Kelly is the co-host of Doug and Kelly on 103.1 and 810 WGY, and you can listen to them each weekday morning from 5:30 to 9 a.m. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kristi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for joining us. So here's what we're going to do. We will update 2 of your original 20 things. We'll learn a few new things about you, and then we'll play a little bit of a game.
All right, sounds good.
So we're going to start with a music one. I know you're a big U2 fan, and you have crossed the pond, right, to see U2 at this point. So what happened in the last couple of years?
So when we had talked last, I had seen them 5 times, and I saw them in Sydney, and I'd seen them when they were here in Albany every time I could. And shortly after we did our 20 things, we had an opportunity to go to Ireland. And so while we were there, of course, I had to go see this display with the walls from their studio. And then while I was there, our hotel was right across from the Halfpenny Bridge, which just connects 2 sides of Dublin. And while we were there, I made my kids and my husband recreate this photo of this really old, like vintage U2 photo on the Halfpenny Bridge, and it came out so great. And I wanted to make it my Christmas card, but I couldn't turn it around in time. But it's really funny, and they were really good sports about it, because they were like, my kids like, really, Mom? We had to do it like 3 different times, and then we kept trying to go, and then it was raining, and then we finally got there, and we only had a very short window before it got dark, so it worked out really well.
Well, that's the thing. You get the perfect picture, and it looks like the perfect picture, but it sometimes takes a lot of takes to get the perfect shot.
Yeah, and then people are walking by, and they're staring at us, and my mom was taking the picture, so she's like, okay, we have a short window here. It's getting dark. So we happened to get just that right moment with nobody in the background and just the right angle and everything, so it worked out.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Right, then your next one, you have been married for, about a decade and a half when we first spoke? Obviously,
yeah.
Married more years now. Your kids are growing up. What's going on with them?
So we'll be married, Roger and I'll be married 19 years in April, and we have 2 teens now, 13 and 16. And my daughter just got her driver's license, which is a whole new kind of terrifying when it comes to parenting. So it does make life a little easier. She can drive herself to swim practice, but I spend the whole time now worrying about her. I'm like, text me when you leave, text me when you get home, and text me where you are. And I'm constantly, keeping tabs on her. And, I remember when my mom was like that with me, I'm like, relax. Now I'm like, okay, text me every step of the way.
Well, you know what you need? Can't you set that like location tracking? You need to set that on her phone.
I have it, but I still worry. One spot for too long. I'm like, why is she stuck there?
I would too. No, I have a question for you. So I know I've heard you talk on air lovingly about how Roger doesn't do as much around the house as you do around the house.
Right.
But what about when it came to teaching your daughter how to drive? Who kind of took on that responsibility?
Oh, he did. So he has 2 older kids, and he taught them to drive, and he did a great job with them, and he's much more patient than I am. So pandemic's been great for that, because they had a lot of time to go out on Saturdays, drive around the neighborhood and drive around town. So they got a lot of good quality time in the car. And then we got her a couple lessons from our friend Scott McKay, who has McKay's driving school. And she took her road test the day after that massive storm in Schenectady, where there was like 30 inches of snow.
And were the roads weren't cleared or anything?
She was terrified. And so we drove around, and I'm like, the roads aren't even plowed yet. I don't know how you're going to take this test. So guy comes over with the clipboard, and I'm like, we're doing this? He goes, yep. So she was gone for 7 minutes, came back, had that piece of paper, and good to go.
Well, I was going to say, if you can parallel park on a Schenectady street when the snow is like that, because we all know they're not great at clearing those streets, you definitely deserve your driver's license.
Yes, definitely. She got her money's worth out of the last couple lessons for sure.
Very cool. Okay, now we're going to learn a couple new things about you.
Okay.
I know that, like some other people, some people feel like they've been, disconnected from their friends and family during the pandemic, but other people have used this time to, make an effort to better connect. And I think you've done that, right?
Yeah, so I've got a really awesome group of friends. We've been friends for 30, 35 years, and we're spread out all over the country. And so we haven't all been together. I mean, usually it's like for weddings and funerals, everyone shows up. So we really made a point during this to have a Friday night Zoom happy hour as often as we can. And it worked out to just about every Friday. And they would go for like 4 hours, 5 hours sometimes. But we would have our friends from Colorado, from Utah, from Florida, from Massachusetts, from Atlanta. I mean, we were all over. And it was really an opportunity to catch up and see each other. And we don't often get to do that. So that's one thing that's been really great. It's brought us closer as a group of friends. And also, I didn't tell you this ahead of time. I'll send you the picture though, because it's really funny. When one of our friends was having a really rough time, we all got together. We met up and we put hazmat suits on. We met up in our own cars, put the hazmat suits on, drove down her street with the Golden Girls theme blasting through the sunroof, showed up with flowers. We had our mask, our hazmat suits, our gloves. We just wanted to give her a hug, and then we were on our way. So you have to be creative.
You do. If you were a Golden Girl, which Golden Girl would you be?
Probably Dorothy, because I'm that cynical, sarcastic one. You know, that's me.
And I was going to say, I think that's what listeners like about you. If people follow you on social media, it's a fun, sharp tongue to hear.
Yeah.
Well, the next one now, like everybody, you obviously gym's closed in the beginning, and like everyone, you were kind of thinking, well, how do I work out and where do I work out? And I think I remember seeing you post that you were looking for weights at some point.
Yeah.
And they were hard. They were impossible to find.
They were impossible. So I was a longtime Vent member. I went 5 days a week. I had my regular gym friends. I had my instructors. And so when this all went down, I was like, okay, so now what? So Roger and I both started working out at home, but we only had limited equipment. So you couldn't find kettlebells. You couldn't find hand weights. You couldn't find anything. And so I was like, anybody want to trade? Anyone? So my one friend had a set of 15-pound weights that she wasn't using. And so I was like, I got toilet paper. So we kind of traded off. So never thought I'd make that exchange, but yes, we got the weights. And then over the last 10 months, we've gotten like a barbell and plates and a bench and a stationary bike or a spin bike. So we've kind of amassed an entire gym in the basement now.
So now you've kind of gotten used to it. So have you gone back to working out in the gym, or are you good with your home gym for now?
See, I'm so torn. I love my gym family. I love my classes, but the class schedule isn't quite back to what it was. So the ones that I could normally attend they're not having them in the middle of the day that I would normally go to. And also, I'm not quite there with the mask yet. I have no safety concerns at all. I think it's totally safe, and I think that they're doing a great job. It's me. I've got exercise asthma, so with the mask, it's just nobody wants to pick me up off the floor.
My husband keeps trying to get me to go with him to the gym, and I say, I already am not great at, like, I huff and puff when I walk up 2 flights of stairs. The idea of wearing the mask while working out, I think it would make it really, really hard to breathe.
Right. I know people are doing it with no trouble, but I don't know. I'm not there yet.
I agree. He and my sister-in-law say it's fine. You don't even know, but I'm like, all right, you're in better shape than I am. All right. And then the last one, and this is big news. You're now Doug and Kelly, obviously, because you have a new co-host. So tell us a little bit about Doug and how that came about.
So Chuck was my longtime co-host. We worked together for 10 years on the morning show here at WGY. And in the fall, he decided, you know what, it's been 36 years and it's time to, put a bow on this career. And so he retired at the end of December. They have a new grandbaby in North Carolina. And so they just, the winters up here are tough and they want to be closer to their family. So the timing was right. So Chuck retired and we gave him a big send off. And then my new co-host, Doug, came here from Boston, and this is our second full week on the air together. So we're still kind of trying to get our groove and get to know each other. And I think listeners will really like him. He's very likable and relatable. And he's really adjusting well to the Capital Region.
Yes, I've been listening and it's fun. And he takes your teasing well. And I think that's important because
that was a job requirement. That was part of the interview process.
It makes the dynamic really fun.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. So now at this point, we're going to play a little game and we'll see if you can guess who's going to be featured as Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me.
Okay.
And viewers can also take a guess by tweeting me at Just Kristi, tweeting at Times Union, or commenting on this video on Times Union's Facebook or YouTube. So I'm going to give you 3 clues, but I even have a bonus clue because it's kind of related to you.
Okay.
So here we go. I created the vision and led the building of the only cancer center in the Capital District where care revolves around the patient, not around the healthcare team. It's called the Theildegard Medicare's Cancer Treatment Center in Troy. Okay. I was raised believing I was Lebanese until I did 23andMe. And then I found out I was Irish, French, German, and Polish. I also found out that my dad was not my dad, and that was kind of awkward, and it still is awkward. The next one is, when we go to casinos, my husband and I have tuck money. It's that secret money you have tucked away when you lose all the money you originally
I have no idea.
Well, here's the bonus one. She's a Siena graduate, but she's a few years ahead of you. I think graduated about 4 years before you. So I don't know if you two know each other from kind of the alumni group.
Oh gosh, that's hard. I don't even have any guesses, but I want to know who this person is. She sounds fascinating.
She's amazing, and I feel like you two would just be like superhero women together.
Does she work? What industry?
She works in healthcare.
Oh God. Oh.
She's a director in healthcare. She's just a strong, confident, powerful. She's got a strong opinion. She reminds me a lot of you, and I think you two would get along. She's done great things in the region, and she's very cool. So everybody can learn more about her. I'm not telling you who she is because the goal is to guess.
Oh my gosh, I have no guesses. I have nothing. You completely stumped me.
If you Google that center, the Theildegard Medicus Cancer Treatment Center in Troy, I think it might come up. But
okay.
It's not where she works now, but that is what she helped start.
Okay.
And like I said, everyone can tune into timesunion.com starting at 7 a.m. Monday, and that is when Virtual People go live. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thanks, Kristi.